You shouldn't have gone through his phone. That's not your place. Loveth stared at her mother-in-law, stunned by her words. But Mama, he's treating her better than his own family. How can that be right? Your job is to take care of your home and your children. Don't concern yourself with
Your
what
son
David
is in the
does
hospital.
outside. He's been hurt. Since you have always supported his actions and justified his behavior, you should be the one to take care of him now. I'm done. Just when Loveth thought that things were finally getting better, her mother-in-law, David's mother, carried her own wahala and calm. It all happened when they traveled to the village for a family reunion, hoping to find some peace and enjoyment in the celebration. However, as soon as they arrived, Loveth felt the chilling atmosphere. David's family, particularly his mother, avoided her, their coldness palpable. Throughout the day, Loveth tried to engage with the family, offering help and trying to join conversations, but each attempt was met with silence or cold responses. It became painfully clear that they blamed her for not staying with David in the hospital, viewing her decision as a grievous betrayal. This story is about to take another dimension. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button because we have more amazing stories like this just for you. And turn on that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our amazing stories. Now let's continue. At the family reunion, Loveth stood on the fringes, feeling like an outsider in a family she had once considered her own. The joyous occasion felt tainted by the disdain directed towards her. She noticed David's mother whispering to other relatives, who would then glance at her with judgmental eyes. David eventually noticed Loveth's discomfort and took her aside. "Honey, what's wrong? You seem upset." Loveth looked at him, her eyes brimming with tears. "Darling, your family is treating me like I've committed a terrible crime. They are avoiding me and your mother is the worst. All because I didn't stay with you in the hospital." David sighed, feeling the weight of the situation. "No, that's unacceptable. Don't worry, I'll talk to them, okay?" David sought out his mother, finding her surrounded by relatives. He approached her, determination in his step. "Mother, we need to talk, now." His mother looked up, her expression hardening when she saw the seriousness in his eyes. She followed him to a quieter corner. "Mother, this treatment of Loveth has to stop. She didn't deserve this. What happened is between her and me, and it's none of your business to judge her." David's mother said defensively, "David, she abandoned you in your time of need. How can you expect us to just accept that?" "She didn't abandon me, Mom. She made a choice that was best for her and her family. You don't know what I put her through, and it's not your place to decide how she should have acted." His mother's face softened slightly, but the stubbornness remained. "It's not that simple, David. She should have been there for you. And I should have been a better husband," David replied. "I'm the one who failed her, not the other way round. It took me few punches to realize that. If you can't support us both, then maybe it's best we keep our distance until you can." He stormed out. His words hung in the air. David's mother looked taken aback, the severity of his words sinking in. She glanced scornfully at Loveth, who was standing alone and clearly feeling isolated. Days later, Loveth took a deep breath as she walked into the living room, determined to bridge the gap between herself and David's family. His mother and two of David's sisters, Jennifer and Ruth, sat on the couch, deep in conversation. As soon as Loveth joined them, the atmosphere shifted, the air thick with tension. "Oh, look who decided to join us. The so-called wife who abandons her husband in the hospital," David's mother said scornfully, her eyes narrowing. Loveth's heart pounded, but she stood her ground, trying to remain calm. I just thought we could talk and clear the air, Loveth said calmly. Talk about what? How you left our brother to suffer alone? Ruth, one of her sister-in-laws, said sarcastically. David's mother, with anger in her voice, said to her, during our time, our husbands brought their mistresses home. We, the wives, prepared delicacies for them. But just because David was kind enough not to bring the drama home, you left him in the hospital. That's right. We endure so much to keep our families together. That's what being a good wife means. Jennifer, her other sister-in-law, chipped in, revealing healed scars that was given to her by her own husband. Loveth felt a surge of anger mixed with sadness. She knew she had to defend herself and also to educate them. I understand that times were different, but that doesn't mean we should accept mistreatment. Respect and value should be mutual in marriage. Enduring pain and humiliation isn't a badge of honor, it's a sign of a broken system. David's mother and sisters looked taken aback by her words, but Loveth continued, her voice steady and firm. We deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Staying in a situation where you are constantly hurt and devalued doesn't make you a good wife. It makes you a victim. I chose to step back, to heal and to show David that his actions have consequences. I didn't leave him out of spite, but out of necessity for my well-being and for our children. Oh, so you think you are better than us? David's mother said angrily. No, mother, I don't think I'm better. I think we all deserve better. We should support each other in demanding the respect we deserve, not tearing each other down for not suffering enough. There was a heavy silence as her words sank in. Lovett's heart raised, but she felt a sense of empowerment. David's mother and sisters exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from anger to contemplation. Maybe you have a point. It's just that we have been taught to accept things the way they are for far too long, Ruth said sadly. Exactly. And that's what needs to change. We need to teach our daughters and sons that marriage is a partnership based on mutual respect, not endurance of pain. Loveth could see the slight shift in their expressions, sensing an opportunity to drive her point home. We all need to be on the same page when it comes to raising responsible and compassionate men. Men who see women not as tools, but as humans deserving of love and respect. David's mother and sisters looked at each other, their curiosity piqued. Loveth, feeling pumped, continued, I don't entirely blame David or other men for their behavior towards women. It's the result of poor orientation from childhood. They were taught to see women as subordinates rather than equals, but we have power to change that narrative. How do we start? Is that even possible? Jennifer asked. Yes, it's very possible. It starts with us. We must teach our sons to value, love and respect their wives and even their sisters. They need to understand that a marriage is a partnership where both parties support and uplift each other. We should show them that strength comes from kindness and empathy, not dominance. David's mother, her stern expression softening, nodded slowly. I think you are right, Loveth, she said. It's hard to admit, but maybe we have been teaching the wrong lessons. We accepted disrespect because we thought it was our duty. Honestly, I've seen how my own boys mimic their father's behavior, and it worries me. I don't want them to grow up thinking that treating their future wives poorly is acceptable. Ruth chipped in with worry in her voice. Exactly. We need to break this cycle. It's not just about demanding respect for ourselves, but also ensuring that the next generation does better. We must lead by example and show our sons that real strength is about love and mutual respect. The room fell into a contemplative silence, the weight of Loveth's words settling over them. David's mother, who had been the most resistant, finally spoke with a hint of vulnerability. Loveth, my daughter, I am so sorry for how I've treated you. You are right. We have held on to old ways for far too long, and it's time we change. Loveth felt a surge of relief and gratitude. This moment of acknowledgement was the first step towards healing and unity. Thank you, Mama. I believe we can create a better future for our children. It won't be easy, but if we can support each other, we can make a real difference. As they continued to talk, the air in the room grew lighter, filled with a newfound sense of purpose and hope. For the first time in a long while, Loveth felt a reconnection with Davy's family, united by a common goal of fostering respect and compassion within their homes. Meanwhile, after Dan broke up with Rose, Rose didn't feel the need to apologize or try to win him back. She believed her beauty was enough to attract anyone she desired. Her confidence remained unshaken as she continued jumping from one sugar daddy to the next, enjoying the luxuries they provided. One afternoon, Rose visited her friend Cynthia. Cynthia was a successful makeup artist. She had been worried about Rose's lifestyle for some time. As they sipped their drinks, Cynthia decided it was time for another heart-to-heart conversation. Rose, my friend, I'm worried about you. You can't keep living like this. Jumping from one man to another isn't a sustainable way to live. Why don't you open a business or find something you are passionate about? Rose, laughing lightly, said, Cynthia, you worry too much. I came into this life to enjoy it. I want a soft life, not one filled with hard work. I deserve to be pampered. Cynthia leaning forward, but Rose, this lifestyle is dangerous. What if something happens? You are putting yourself at risk every day. You need to think about your future. Rose waved off Cynthia's concerns, her expression dismissive. Don't be worried, Cynthia. I know how to handle myself. Besides, there are plenty of men out there willing to take care of me. Cynthia sighed, feeling frustrated. Rose, listen to me. Beauty fades, but a stable business can provide for you long after your looks have changed. You are smart and capable. You could do so much more with your life than just relying on men. Rose Merkin, I know what I am doing, Cynthia. I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. I don't need to work hard when I can live comfortably without lifting a finger. It's not just about the money, Rose. It's about your safety, your dignity, and your future. One day you might find yourself in a situation you can't control. Rose shrugged, clearly uninterested in Cynthia's advice. I'll take my chances. I'm happy with my life as it is. I don't need to change anything. Cynthia looked at her friend, feeling a mix of sadness and helplessness. Months passed. Rose continued living her best life in the alloy of wealth and luxury. She met Richard, a wealthy man who lived abroad. Richard seemed perfect, charming, generous, and attentive. He lavished Rose with gifts and promises of a glamorous life overseas. Convinced she had finally found the right man, Rose accepted his invitation to visit him in his house when he returned from abroad. When Rose arrived at Richard's luxurious mansion, she was dazzled by the opulence surrounding her. Richard continued to shower her with attention and expensive gifts, and Rose felt she had finally found her true jackpot. But as days turned into weeks, subtle red flags began to appear. Richard was secretive about his business, his associates seemed unsavory, and his mansion had an unsettling atmosphere. One night, Rose overheard a conversation that chilled her to the bone. Richard was on the phone with a colleague, discussing that the package is secured and that all her parts will be delivered accordingly. Her heart sank as the horrifying realization dawned on her. Richard was involved in organ harvesting, and she was his next victim. Rose knew she had to escape before it was too late. However, Richard's mansion was heavily guarded, and she had no way to contact the outside world. The nights were filled with terror as she plotted her escape, aware that any misstep could cost her life. One fateful night, when Richard and his men were distracted, Rose seized her chance. She quietly slipped out of her room and made her way to the back of the mansion. Her heart pounded as she carefully avoided the gas. Moving through the shadows, she reached the fence and with great effort managed to climb over it. Once on the other side, she ran through the dark street, not daring to look back. She found a sympathetic taxi driver who took her to Cynthia's apartment. The ordeal had shaken her to her core. She reached out to Cynthia, who provided her with a safe place and unwavering support. Cynthia holding her close. "I'm so proud of you for getting out, Rose. Thank God that you are safe." Rose cried her heart out that night. She decided it was time to take control of her life. With Cynthia's help, she began attending therapy to heal from her traumatic experiences. She also enrolled in business courses and started learning skills that would allow her to be financially independent. Months turned into years, and Rose slowly rebuilt her life. She opened a boutique with Cynthia's guidance, combining her love for fashion with her newfound business acumen. The boutique thrived, becoming a haven for women seeking stylish yet affordable clothing. Rose also became an advocate for women's rights, sharing her story to raise awareness about the dangers of living off men and the importance of financial independence. She worked with local organizations to support women in vulnerable situations, helping them find their own path to safety and empowerment. Loveth and Rose, each transformed by their respective journeys, found new purposes in their lives. They turned their painful experiences into powerful lessons, becoming advocates for change in their different communities. In her hometown, Loveth dedicated herself to teaching families the importance of raising men with compassion and respect for women, and vice versa. She organized workshops and seminars, partnering with schools, churches, and community centers. Loveth held a life-changing conference where she shared her story, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect in marriage. Her heartfelt message resonated deeply, sparking conversations and prompting many parents to reevaluate their approach to raising their sons and daughters. Meanwhile, Rose channeled her experiences into empowering young women in her community too. Don't ever think you need to use your body to achieve your dreams. You have the strength, intelligence, and capability to build your own future. Learn skills, educate yourselves, she would often say. She offered free workshops on business skills, financial literacy, and self-defense, helping young women find their own path to independence. Her boutique also became a training ground where she employed and mentored girls, teaching them the ins and outs of running a business. The impact of Loveth and Rose advocacy rippled through their communities. Families began to change the way they raised their sons, instilling values of kindness and respect. Young women found inspiration in Rose's story, choosing education and self-reliance over dangerous shortcuts. Their advocacy work changed countless lives. Women found the courage to leave abusive relationships. Parents committed to raising respectful sons, and young girls pursued education and careers, empowered by the knowledge that they could control their own destinies. In their own small yet profound ways, Loveth and Rose transformed their different communities, fostering environments where respect, love, and equality could flourish. They proved that even the most painful experiences could be turned into powerful catalysts for change, creating a brighter future for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. Like and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our amazing stories. Bye.